Hello, and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today it'll be kind of a two-part review. I'm going to take a look at a beer which I have very low expectations for, so it might be a short review. And then second, I'm going to talk about a book I've been reading or that I read. And I've done that before. A few of my videos I've included some information about some books or some writers that I have been working with, and this one is a fairly new one, I think, overall. Let's see, it was published in a lot of this has to do with COVID, or just before COVID, I guess, 2019, so I guess 6 years ago. So any case, a two-part review, but the beer in question is this one. It is called Suntory Kin-Mugi Banshaku Sour. It is a 6%er, and the sour thing has appeared in a few other beers not too long ago, and I guess they're trying to get some kind of crossover for people who like to drink the ready to drink canned sours, and there are many of them in Japan, kind of alcohol and some fruit juice and then soured up. And so you find a lot of these. And not too long ago, also Asahi last year they put out Kin-Mugi Sour, and in in the summer of last year, let's see, Kin-Mugi Sour came out in November, and then Hop Sour in summer of 2024. So that was both last year. They're both gone now. So apparently, Suntory's their kind of mode of operations these days is to throw out all kinds of beers and see what sells, I guess. I'm not sure. They do produce a lot of different beers. So this beer, malt, hops, and sugars. That is the ingredients, the bill of ingredients. And they stress that it's a luxury malt and, get this, natural water. You can figure it out. You can suss it out for me if you want. Natural water. No fragrances or sweeteners, thank God. The hops are interesting. Lemondrop and Citra, which is not often used in a major company beer. It's often used in craft beers for sure. They use the infusion method, which is a method of raising the wort temperature in stages, and also late hop additions. So that's what it is. We'll see. So I have had several beers in this Kin-Mugi line, and it's kind of kidding, or Suntory's lowest level, their economy level of beers. The prices are very low. The ingredients are not the best, and I wonder with the tax equalization whether the kind of lower malt beers will kind of disappear. The low malt beers used to have very low tax, and higher malt, regular malt beers would have higher tax, and that's slowly being equalized. I think next year it will be completely equal, and so a level playing field for all beers. Well, let's take a look at this one. What do we got? It is a kind of very fizzy sort of yellow color, big poppy bubbles. Not so promising, not so elegant. Ooh, okay, kind of weedy, kind of rough, crushed, weedy flowers. Maybe the flowers still had some insecticide on them, I don't know. Not a promising nose. Cheers. Starts off with some malt. Yeah, and it does go sour a little bit in mid-palate, and I think some of those hops start kicking in there. It's very watery. Yeah, it doesn't really develop much of flavor, and kind of trails off from mid-palate down to the end, and that is it. Not as bad as I thought it would be, but not a beer I think I will revisit. But light fruitiness, touch of sour and mid palate, and then it kind of fades away, kind of like a seltzery sort of thing. In fact, carbonation reminds me kind of like a seltzer. But maybe that's what they're moving towards with this kind of beer here. We'll see. Seltzers aren't a real big thing here yet in Japan. I know they are in many places, but not here. Any case, enough for this one. This is called Suntory Kin-Mugi Banshaku Sour, 6%er. Feel a little bit of alcohol warmth, yeah, but okay. All right, so now I'll take a quick break, and I'm going to come back and talk to you about this book called Trick Mirror by Jia Tolentino. Okay, now I'd like to just talk a little bit about this book, which I was quite impressed with. It is called Trick Mirror, and the author is Jia Tolentino, who is a staff writer at the New Yorker, and quite a good writer. And so this book came out in 2019, and there are 9 personal essays. I'll put a picture of the table of contents here, and you can take a look at them. 9 personal essays that kind of expand outward from her life at different ages and into the social and political atmosphere of all those times here. She starts with the eye and internet when she was quite young, and how kind of she and the internet grew up kind of together. So she was on the internet very young, at a very young age, and talks about her first blogging experiences and how she developed, how she and the internet kind of developed together. Very, very interesting. And it ends with an essay called I Thee Dread, which talks about her relationship with her partner. Apparently they are married now and have kids, but at that time she and he were both trying not to get married, apparently. Didn't want to get married. Anyway, she calls it her own coming of age, especially connected to social media and the public imagination. And she comes quite well recommended. Zadie Smith, Rebecca Solnit, who is a writer I really, really think is amazing. Rebecca Solnit calls her the best young essayist at work in the United States. That's some praise, certainly. And this was written in 2017 and 18. And she's really a brilliant writer, I think. But unfortunately, I think, in my humble opinion, these are kind of long-form essays, and she takes very long detours and kind of fills up pages with some digressions. These essays were written for the book, not for publication, not as journalism. And I think if they had been, she might have benefited from a good editor. I think. And that said, all of them were fascinating to read. It's just I kept wondering why she wasn't getting to the point quicker. She probably knows. It's her book for sure. I found it quite refreshing to read. To kind of get into the mind of a millennial person who, the concerns of a young millennial who's, very much involved in the kind of slow burn of American society these days. And because I've kind of been out of touch, I haven't been to the U.S. in over 5 years, and with the current political situation, I don't plan to go there for a while, for sure. And the title is interesting. It was suggested to her by a friend, apparently, just before publication, or just before her deadline, and it's a very interesting title, The Trick Mirror. If you go to the amusement park, you see the mirrors with the waves, and it kind of distorts your image. And she's looking at herself and how she is reflected in, so through social media, the societal pressures of American culture. Very, very interesting. So anyway, you might want to give this a go. She is a staff writer for the New Yorker, and I think anything you want to pick up by her and read, I think you would find interesting. So once again, Trick Mirror by Jia Tolentino. Okay, well, that is it. So, a beer and a book. What could be better, huh? Take care and stay healthy. Drink better beer than I am doing. Bye-bye.